Hey guys, what's going on in today's video? I'm going to be critiquing your submitted photos. So let's get started. Now before we get into the critique and really start roasting people, just kidding. I want to thank the sponsor for today's video, Squarespace.com. I've been using Squarespace since the beginning. I mean, even before they reached out to me to be a part of the sponsorship, I had a website and I was using their platform. So when they reached out to me, I was like, yes, I definitely want to partner up with you guys. I absolutely love their service. I think their platform is really easy to use. I love their templates. They offer so much. They have like contact forms, calendars that show your availability, and that kind of stuff is really important as photographers. One of the biggest things for me is having an online store, and I do that through Squarespace. They make it super easy. I can sell digital goods, I can sell physical stuff. If I ever want to do merch, that's always an option. They have things like analytics. You can see what pages are being viewed the most. You can kind of get an idea of what's popular on your website and really, maximize the amount of traffic that's going to your website. It's an all-in-one platform. It's all there. You don't have to update, install, patch up anything. If something goes wrong, there's 24-hour customer support. So you send them a message and you always have somebody there to help you. I'm going to have all those links down below, and you can head to squarespace.com for a free trial. And when you're ready, you can go to squarespace.com/Jessica to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or a domain. So I'm also going to have that. You can check it out. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's see who's the first one up. Let's go. Melinda, girl, you're first. So I hope you got that popcorn ready. Let's get started. So first things first, I love the makeup. I like the colors. You got the neutral tones in the background, and then you have the pop of red on the lips and then the orange on the eyes. The makeup looks really good. Who's your makeup artist? Can she come here do the makeup for my videos? Because I'm looking like a pumpkin these days, I'm struggling here. I'm really painting my face here, and I'm looking more like the guy from It, the clown movie, which is not bad. Honestly, he has a good look. It's a very distinct look. He's good. It's unique, But I don't always want to look like that. So just email me the number. Email me her WhatsApp. Tell her WhatsApp me. Up here on her forehead, it's a little bit oversaturated. And then, you have a lot going on here in the cheeks area. So I've just desaturated that a little bit. I mean, other than that, the crop is nice. The lighting is nice. I think you did a good job. The model is cool. I like the picture overall. This area over here on her forehead, a little oversaturated, and then it starts to get a little bit yellow, and same goes for here in this cheek area. And even over here near her lipstick, you can see it's starting to get a little red. So again, just desaturating it. Otherwise, I really like the picture, and you're really inspiring me to get my studio lights out, even though I'm lazy and I probably won't do that, but in a perfect world, I will eventually. Okay, next person up is Brody Cian Taberner. Oh, you guys, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna probably butcher everybody's name. I'm so sorry. This reminds me of there was a Gucci advertisement where the model was standing in a subway and then her hair was all over her face, and this kind of reminds me of that. I love the concept of shooting in the metro. Something about the lighting and the colors, and it's very moody. I really like the overall atmosphere of this picture. I think the pose is a little bit weak. I would have liked to see the model do a little bit more. You see the movement in the back of the train. I like the fact that she's standing still. It's kind of like the opposite, but again, just creating a little bit of shape and maybe not having her arms out like that. I would have probably pulled the hair to the back just to show off more of the turtleneck. Again, you could have, this is probably a movement that could have happened had the model been actually walking. The hair would have been flying in the back or something. If you would have had her literally just take one of her feet and then to the back, have her take a step back with one of her feet, it would have created even a little bit of an angle with her leg. It would have created a little bit more shape. So again, I'm just feeling like she's just kind of standing there. I don't know what she's looking at. Are they selling donuts? I don't know what's going on. I kind of want to know, but the lighting is great. The colors, I think you toned it very well. It's very interesting. So other than that, just work on the posing, and again, placement of the hair. You already have so much going on with the makeup and the styling and everything. I would also be careful of what the model's wearing underneath. You can see here the line. It can be distracting. I personally don't mind it, but it's creating kind of like a little ripple there in the middle of her sweater. Not to say that, you know, it's not like, oh, don't have her wear anything. Like, obviously have her wear a bra or something, but just look out for things like that. Maybe just have her wear a longer tank top if that's the case. It creates ripples in the shirts, which can be distracting. So you just want to look out for that. Definitely give you props for shooting this in the metro. I mean, some people get really freaked out when they're shooting around people, especially in such a busy atmosphere. So I definitely give you props. So good job. All right, next person up is Lexi Schnell. And I really love the colors in this picture, which is why I chose it to critique it. So orange and blue are actually complementary colors on the color wheel. So it's already creating such a nice vibe, and then you just have this green that's kind of ruining it. So I think that's the one thing that was kind of ruined the picture for me. You could have even done something like crop the photo in a little bit more so that the top part of the trees and everything wouldn't even show. Like if I'm cropping it like this, already see a difference in, you know, how the colors play out. And again, you could have just desaturated the green. So that's an option. I don't mind the pose. I like the concept of the photo. I think it's fun. I like the model's expression, and I like the fact that she has her leg out. It's again creating a different type of shape. So good job. Another thing you could have done is shot this with, you know, a wider aperture so that you can get a little bit more depth of field, and the background would have been blurred a little bit more. And so we wouldn't have seen all these little distracting things in the back, like the flower pot and the things for the pool, which again can be distracting to a photo. But I understand not everybody has every type of lens. So, you know, for what it is, I think you did a good job. The next person is Ludmila Borisova. I'm in love with the colors in this. For this, I wouldn't have even minded, you know, if you shot this at like 2.8, I would have liked to see even more of the background. It's really interesting. Like I want to see what's going on in the back. So maybe you shot this 1.2, maybe 1.4. But I mean, listen, I don't mind either way. It's just the colors are so fascinating. I want to be here. I want to take a picture here. It looks like so much fun. Like, what is that? Is that a dinosaur in the back? I want to be there on that ride. Yeah, that looks like a car. I want to be, yeah. Well, I'm too busy playing Mario Kart. So. You got this really cool looking cotton candy, but it's kind of like disappearing into the other end of the photo. You don't, like it kind of just blends in at the bottom of the picture instead of being like a focal point in the picture. You could have had her, you know, interact with it a little bit more. I think it could have been a really cool piece in your photo. And yeah, it's just kind of on the wayside. You know, you're not really appreciating the cotton candy that much. I think what you could have done is maybe cropped it a little bit lower so that we can see more of the cotton candy, maybe even the bottom handle of it. I think that you did a great job with the lighting is beautiful. Again, the toning. You could have even added like a levels layer and then just added a little bit more contrast. That would have been more interesting. And then again, I would probably have just pulled one piece of hair. Like she has both pieces of hair like this. I would have probably just pulled this piece of hair to the back, shown even more detail on the jacket. For portraits, at least for me, I like to show a lot of shoulder shape. You know, you want to create shapes. You know, it's like Sesame Street. Okay, let's just go to the next one. Let's go to the next one. Okay, Michelle Glendon Hughes. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Hold on. Michelle Glendon Hughes. I'm sorry. You can roast me in the comments if I said that wrong. I love this picture. I think you did a fantastic job. The toning is perfect. It's not too much. It's not too little. You baked the cake just right. I mean, we don't need frosting or anything. You did a great job. The like little critiques I'm gonna give you, even though you don't even need my critique, Michelle. Let's be real here. Let's be real. You don't need to submit this. You know it's a good picture. Little critiques, maybe just watch the retouching, little blemishes. If I'm gonna be like super picky about this, you know, watch the blemishes on her face, like little areas that can be distracting. This area right here near her eyebrow, maybe just blend in the texture of her skin a little bit more. It looks like this was shot through a window or glass of some kind. So yeah, leave how you shot this down below so I can do the same thing. Just kidding. If I'm being super picky again, you know, just take care of the little stray hairs at the top of her head. Since it is such a close portrait, those things are going to be a little bit more noticeable versus if it's a full body and, you know, it's not really zoomed in that much and people are not going to see it. So again, just little things like that you can clean up if you want. You can keep it. I literally, it doesn't bother me, but just a critique, like little things like the straightaway hairs. So next person is Neven Herzegovac. That was close, right? So this picture, I like the toning. I like the fact that you tried to crop in closer. Let me tell you guys something. It's hard to take a portrait, especially a vertical portrait. They're not the easiest things to do. Now, something like this where, you know, you're showing the armpit so close is going to be questionable for me. Would I have done that? Probably not. You could crop in even closer like this where some of her arm is showing. I mean, sometimes all it really takes is a crop. Other things that I want to point out, the retouching. Again, if you're going to be doing a portrait that's so close up, that's something that people are, it's going to be noticeable. You know, the retouching, the skin texture. And so to me, it just has to be clean. So just watch out for things like that. You know, this area right here, the little areas over here where you could transition the colors a little bit better, make them blended a little bit more. And this could be done with some frequency separation. You could do a little bit of dodge and burn. And I'm not saying she has to have flawless, you know, airbrush skin. You don't have to do that, but just clean it up a little bit. I really like the concept though, the fact that you put, you know, this, is that wheat or is that is that a plant or is that wheat? All the years of playing Harvest Moon and I still, it's fine. I'm married in that game with a kid, and I haven't checked in like a year. I probably should though. I have a good life on Harvest Moon, by the way. Like, I have like 5 cows. I have like 3 alpacas, 1 llama. The llama doesn't like the alpacas, I don't think, but my cows all they're well fed. One other thing is be careful of having objects getting in the way of the eyes. You at least want one eye to show. That's kind of the thing for me. Like if I'm going to be covering one eye, another eye has to show. And it's, as you can see, because the object is covering the model's eye, then the model's eye becomes blurry. And whereas the lips are sharp. So you just want to be careful of things like that. But, you know, I really like the fact that you are trying to use different kind of, you know, items and objects in your picture for these portraits. I think those make the coolest, most interesting portraits. So good job, Neven. Next person is Olivia, right? I love the colors of this so much. You guys, the tones are beautiful. Great job. You have the beautiful orange with the green. It's looking wonderful. And then her pale skin, I think it just kind of complements the entire picture. And then even the color of the dress, it's very harmonious. Like I want to be in this field sitting here with my Switch playing Mario Kart. I know I killed it with the Mario Kart jokes, you guys, but like, ever since I lost last week, I've just been like really upset about it. So I personally don't like these types of angles. I think you would have benefited more from taking the picture a little bit lower, maybe eye level. You could, if you like the higher up angles, I think you could have done this, maybe have her move her arm down a little bit more so both of her arms could have showed, because I think you already did a good job with that, having her arm down here. Maybe just bring that other arm, instead of having it up here, have it lowered a little bit so that both arms show. I think if you're going to be doing that, it would have benefited your picture a little bit more. So that's my only critique for that. Again, just watch like the retouching, you know, near her eye area. You don't have to get rid of the bags completely, but just maybe just clean it up a little, transition the colors so that it's a little bit less distracting. Otherwise, I'm in love with the tones. I think you did a great job. Beautiful model. I love her hair. I want to cut my hair like this. So Persephone, Serena Mitchell. That's a beautiful name. Oh, Persephone? Serena Mitchell. Okay, so this is her picture. Shooting indoors can be very tricky. You can see the side light coming in from her face. So I'm assuming there was a natural light source, maybe a big window over there. I like the composing of this image. You know, the model's body is fully in frame. The only thing is, I just think her body placement is really awkward and weird, and it almost looks uncomfortable, like the way that her leg is placed out like that. Next time, maybe have the model do a couple of different poses with her legs. I always tell the models when they're laying down or doing something like that to just keep moving, so I can kind of get an idea of what looks best. Because if you have the model stay in one pose and you're just tweaking a little bit, I mean, you're not gonna change up the entirety of the pose and you kind of just get stuck in that. But there's so many different ways of posing on stairs and posing laying down that you just have to keep them, and in relation to the angle and what you're shooting at too, you just have to have the model keep moving and see what works best. So I think this picture would have been more successful had her leg placement, like had she brought in her knee a little bit more and had her knees kind of on the same level. I mean, it's hard to describe what I'm envisioning in my head, you know? But that's the one thing that really stuck out to me, is just the pose of this. And also little things, be careful of, you know, the stray hairs. I don't think stray hairs are bad. A lot of my pictures have stray hairs, but really obvious like stray hairs, like kind of like this, I would just clean up. Like you can see one of the hairs right here. I think these hairs here are fine. Again, just something that is, especially against a white backdrop too, this hair popping out, you want to take care of that. Vacuum it up, you know, Photoshop. Otherwise, I commend you for shooting inside, and otherwise I think this is a nice picture. The toning is lovely. The neutral tones complement the picture, so good job. Sanzi Rewalker. I'm just gonna tell you some things that could have improved the picture a little bit more, because I feel like you're on the right track. Like you almost, like we're almost there. You just need a little bit of refinement. So the first thing is the cropping. Like you see how you left a space on the side of her cheek right here, like all this green? I feel like you should have left that same amount of space on the other side as well. See, instead of cropping it in to where you're cutting off like her other ear area, I would have loved to see more of that green. So the green is kind of like bordering her almost. And that way, let's say you want to get even closer, you could have easily cropped it like this in Photoshop. But see, if you're cropping it in camera like this, then you have no options. So I would say always just leave a little bit of border, you know, a little bit of space on the side. So if you change your mind later on in post-production, you can always crop in. Another thing is you want to watch for the highlights. It looks like a patch of sunlight was hitting here on her forehead, and maybe it was because of post-production. Maybe you added one too many curves later. I don't know what you were doing. I'm not judging. I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to say be careful of the highlights, because you're losing the detail in her skin. You always want to keep the detail in the skin, and it just looks blown out right now. And also same thing goes for the bridge of her nose. You can see it's like just pure white over there. So you want to make sure you're not blowing out those highlights. You always want to retain the features. When it's really sunny out, I always like to shoot a little bit darker so that I'm still retaining all the details in the skin. I actually really like this portrait. I would have loved to see a little bit more toning to it. And again, just watch out with the skin cleaning. Again, I would just do some basic retouching. Again, I'm not asking you guys to like do a whole like poreless woman over here or man, but just make sure to just clean up those little bits of blemishes and stuff like that for portraits. So Sean's picture, honestly, listen, I'm not here to critique this one. I just really love it, and I wanted to add it in there because I just really like this picture. The background is so cool. The model is amazing. The styling, the toning, the angle in which the photo was taken at. There's no critiques here. I just wanted to say I really like this. So let's go to the next one. Good job, Sean. Okay, Thomas Brooks. This picture here, we have a lens flare. I'm gonna go on a limb and say that this was in Photoshop. You added this in Photoshop. Let me know if I'm right or not, but maybe it is. It looks like it is. So a couple of things about this picture. I'm not loving the lens flare that you added. Again, maybe the sun was coming in that strong. Yeah, I don't know. I don't go outside much. I don't know how it works anymore. Do you see how white I am? Do you think I get any color? I'm Arab and I'm white as hell, okay? I should be like 5 shades darker, but I don't go outside. The pose I don't mind. I think it's a little too structured on the arms. Maybe have her relax a little bit more with her pose. She could have done something where her shoulders look a little tense is what I'm trying to say. The sunglasses, I like them, but I'm not crazy about it with the atmosphere of the picture. And then, you know, you have like some of this warning sign here. Like the cropping also, I've noticed a lot of photographers today, the way that they crop the photos is very like top heavy. And that's okay. I think it's okay for certain pictures, but again, I would classify this more as like a portrait, but then it's so top heavy that it's kind of like, I don't know, it's just really confusing. I'm seeing this a lot, actually. You cleaned up the skin on the face, but then the arm, I still feel like it's a little patchy. Could have just cleaned up that as well. So just, you know, for consistency, I'm not saying like every arm needs to be cleaned up, but if you're gonna, it looks like it was used, you know, the blur and everything, and it's very smooth, and then you see something like her arm, which looks a little bit patchy. Look, my arm is patchy too. Look at this. My arm is, look at this. No one's arm is perfect. So, but it's just about consistency in your photography. I think you could have done without the lens flare and then brought in some contrast to this. The absence of black, there's a lot of gray in the picture, and I don't, it's kind of like muddy in the back, and that's why it's just, I just feel like there needs to be a little bit more contrast, is what I'm saying. Like the trees in the back kind of like disappear, and there's like no, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to give you some advice. Thomas, keep shooting, keep practicing. You're definitely on the right track, okay? Let's go to the next one. Trin Kalmus. Jessica butchering names for like 20 minutes straight. Okay. The background is so cool. It's like giving me some abstract. Can I say Blade Runner? I've never watched the movie. I don't know what it's about, but it kind of reminds me of that. Like Tron. I never watched that movie either. I watch the same stuff over and over again, like The Office. Like, I'll just keep watching the same shows. Why would I watch something new? Like, experience new things? No, never. There's so many possibilities in this picture, and I just feel like this pose is not it. The hair flip is cool, but the placement of the body is just, it's just bland. It's boring. Next time, I would urge you to think about movement, creating some kind of shape, an interesting angle. So something like this, you know, the background is so cool. I would have even loved to see this at a lower angle. You have so many lines that are being created by the walls and the building and everything, and she's just standing still. And it's just like, I would have loved to see some kind of crazy movement, or like, you know, even if you're gonna do the hair flip, you could have done the hair flip with all of her hair in her face maybe, or done something. Why am I doing this? That's weird, Jessica, stop. Okay, so there's so many possibilities here. Go back to this location and reshoot this, okay? That's my assignment for you. If you can reshoot this, go back there and even have a dress or something that, you know, can move, like a ruffly dress or a layered dress or something that can create movement. I think that'd be so cool. So I'd recommend that. All right, and with that picture, that wraps up the photo critique. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for submitting your pictures. There will definitely be another photo critique. If you're interested in having your photo submitted, just become a fan on my Facebook page, because that's usually where I have the submissions. So just look out for my Facebook posts for the next photo critique. I really hope my tips were helpful for you guys. You know, I try to mix my own personal experience with just, you know, what I like in a picture. So take it as you will. At the end of the day, it's your photography. You can shoot however you want, whatever pictures you like. That's what I encourage you guys to do. So anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.